Going into games that have this much on the line, and honestly, the building, the atmosphere to start the game, what led up to it, all the things that go with this game. I think there's a couple things, and I just told our team this, that it as much as you feel like there's so much on the line, and in this game, it's one basketball game in the Big 12. But I grew up knowing what this means to Red Raiders and to myself. And so wanted to win this game. I'm embarrassed for our team and felt like Texas just got after us at the beginning of the game and beat us. I mean, it physically dominated the game, and I didn't do a good enough job in the counter to give us an advantage. And then the game got away from us by trying to do too much offensively and trying to get it back in one or two possessions, and feeling the pressure of this game, I thought, got to us also. And give them credit. I thought they made not just great defensive plays, but they came up with a few loose balls at pivotal times. They got an offensive rebound off a free throw. And just, I thought their competitiveness early was significant. And I did a terrible job coaching our team tonight. And I've got to do a better job making sure we're ready. I thought we fought down the stretch, tried to give ourselves a chance to win, but obviously we dug ourselves too deep a hole, and Texas deserves all the credit for how they competed.
I know you got on the mic and you asked the fans to kind of settle down, but do you just have anything to kind of say of what kind of led up to that and just the fans throwing stuff?
Yeah, I mean, y'all know what's at stake in this game. I mean, there's a lot going on. I mean, there's a lot of passion in this game, and when you have to go talk on the mic, you're talking to 15+ thousand people, but really you're talking to a couple people that are doing things that are completely unacceptable, And you could tell when I'd finally communicated clearly, like, this can't happen, a lot of people were applauding because they know it's not what we need to do. And it cost us technicals, and it cost us a problem. But what comes with this great place is there's a lot of passion, and unfortunately I thought the decisions of a few people impacted everybody, and that's not what this is about, and we'll get better because of it.
And we've talked a lot about Warren's defensive presence, but he's such a big part of your offense, and when you take him out, I know you're kind of hoping to get him back soon, but what's kind of the fix when he's not in there where the offense doesn't just kind of look like, okay, what do we do?
Yeah, no, good point. And that's where I did a terrible job. I thought they took away a lot of our get actions and a lot of our movement to the basketball with bullying us. Should have went to the ball screen earlier and created better advantages. Should have tried to get the matchups we wanted quicker and advantages. And we made a few substitutions thinking maybe it'll loosen up at some point, and unfortunately it didn't, and some of our turnovers in those spots led to baskets. We finally made enough adjustments and got lineups out there that we felt like could put them on their heels, and I just didn't do it soon enough, honestly. And so moving forward, I am going to have to be creative in finding ways we are of utilizing our strengths, because maybe what was Warren's strengths, not what everybody else's strengths are. And so I didn't do a good enough job in offensively of preparing us, and it definitely impacted our team significantly.
Coach, on the other side, on the other end of the floor, Warren obviously not playing, and they put up 32 points in the paint. I guess, what did you think their strategy was to get the ball down low, and obviously they executed?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Early in the game, considering we were playing so bad offensively, we were okay. We made a substitution, and they scored a couple right at the basket. And a couple of baskets, we actually turned the ball over, which led to their, so you kind of could say it was multiple things and then rebounding. But the truth is, and you know this too, they started throwing it to Dessou down there, and he just started scoring around the basket. And obviously, Shedrick got a couple at the basket. He goes 5 for 6, and I don't know what Dessou was to start the game, but he's 9 for 16 for the game. And they threw it in there, and we didn't have a good enough plan to bully it out, and that's I got to do a better job making sure when they do that, even when we're smaller, we got to have a better attack to get the ball out of there.
What kind of job did you think they did on Darian Williams? It felt like he couldn't really get loose and get really good looks like he has in the past couple weeks.
Yeah, no, their ball pressure pushed us to where his catches were too extended up the floor, and he had too much ground to make up with their size. And that's when I watched it already, the first half, so I'm speaking actually clearly. When we got pushed out and we got pressured, it sent us to driving it to the basket and scoring over multiple guys. When you look at it on film, there's guys filling behind that are open. And against pressure, when you do play against length, you got to attack it and then move it to the next action as they rotate. And we were just shooting over length, and we were missing. And then when we weren't, and it felt like everybody was trying. And that's where I didn't do a good enough job with our team. I did a terrible job.
Coach, you mentioned trying to realize, I guess, that, the strengths of Warren on offense are maybe not everybody else's strengths. I mean, you just said it right now. I guess when you think about, like, the way he functions in, like, dribble handoffs and the pick and roll, I guess, is that an aspect where you feel like the younger guys still have kind of like a long way to go?
Well, I will tell you in this game specifically, we turned the ball over in the action. Right? But some of it early in the game was actually effective. But I thought their physicality, and we were at the bonus pretty quick into the half, and we couldn't take advantage of it. And that's where there's a few things that we did the second half that I felt like we could have done earlier, and if I would have done a better job recognizing it. We tried to change personnel, and then we went back to it thinking over the course of the game it would free up a little bit. It never did. Their pressure was good. I mean, it really was, and it got that lead quickly. So half of it really is scheme, and the other half is me trying to make sure that we're closer to the basket, put them in better positions. I called a play that we were going to try to backdoor, and I put our guys in a bad spot, because of the way they pressured us. We couldn't handle the pressure to deliver the ball, and that was my fault too. I mean, I just got to be wiser in knowing where to put guys in good spots. And it felt like everything we did, they pushed us out even farther, and give them credit because I thought they were extremely physical to start the game defensively.
Coach, now with back-to-back losses and with 2 road games coming up, how do you shake this off and kind of refocus with 3 games left?
Yeah, I mean, I think you look at it in the mirror and you tell the truth, man. We in a significant game of a lot of magnitude, and it is one basketball game. That's where you got to try to put it in perspective and tell our guys. And so I told them in the locker room, we're playing. This is a big deal to me. This game is, obviously. But we're also playing to get better and to figure out how to play in March and how to play deep into March. And so the only thing you can do is get better from this and stare it in the face. I walked in the locker room, and y'all can imagine. You walk in there, and there's a lot of people standing there, administrators, everybody's looking at you like, oh, crud, what happened, you know what happened? We got beat bad in a significant game, and I did a terrible job of preparing us. So what you do is you look at it in the mirror, and you tell the truth, and you figure out how you're going to improve and get better. That's the truth. So that's what I told them. And when you look back I've been a part of a lot of disappointing losses, but we ended the season and found a way to win championships. And when you look back at those, if that can propel you forward, it's all a part of the process. And it is one game in the Big 12, even though it's significant to all of us, me included. But that's how we're going to approach it. We're going to get better because of it. And we're going to own it and give Texas credit because they beat us and did it because they were more physical and played better. Thank y'all.